Hey, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hi,
Hey,
Jonathan.
how's it
Yes.
going? Apologies for my late and somewhat dramatic entrance. I was actually moderating another session, also on innovation, just in a separate industry. So I think, let's see, Brian, we have you, Mance. I think we're waiting on Noah to join us on
Yeah, he's
stage.
having problems. He's having mic problems.
No,
So
no.
he's trying to work it out.
Gotcha. Well, we'll give him a little bit of time to hop on. But in the interim, I'll go ahead and introduce myself and soft kick this off, I guess. So again, Jonathan Chavez, I'm a venture associate with Capital Factory. I focus specifically on the DFW market, although as you guys can imagine, geography is becoming a little bit less of a barrier these days, right? So I've been with Capital Factory for 9 months. Prior to that, I spent 6 years in banking, most recently with JP Morgan in their technology and disruptive commerce team, also based in Dallas. And then before that, Wells Fargo. And then fun fact, I have a little bit of operating experience in that I was part of a founding team of a drone tech startup out of Arlington called New Robotics a few years back. So with that being said, I would like to welcome everyone to the Enabling Enterprise Innovation panel today. We have Hans Sarman, of the CEO and co-founder of Hedera, Byron Jacob of Data.World CTO, and then as soon as we can get up on stage, we also have Noah Yago, who helps lead the investment strategy for Cisco. So, with that being said, I think a good place to start is by having maybe each of you speak a little bit more about your background and what it is that you do within the space, if that's all right.
Sure.
And Mance, we can start.
Brian, you want to kick it off? You want me to go first? Sure. So hello, everyone. I'm Mance Harmon. Background, very briefly, is deep tech for a long time. Started off doing machine learning research for the Air Force, senior scientist for machine intelligence. Taught computer science at the Air Force Academy, cybersecurity. Managed a massive software program for the Missile Defense Agency. And then became an entrepreneur and decided that I was going to, I did 2 startups in the space of identity and access management. Sold one to Fortune 500 and the other one to private equity. And then in 2015, my co-founder and I started a company to commercialize an alternative to blockchain called Hashgraph. They solve the same problems. They're both distributed consensus algorithms. And Hashgraph had some fantastic properties in the market. We ran that for a couple of years until we decided to build a public network on Hashgraph. Hedera Hashgraph is that public network. It is a global public network. It's a DApp platform, or an distributed application platform, generally speaking. Its defining features, I guess, are its performance. We can handle 10,000 transactions per second today in the beta version of this, compared to, say, 7 for Bitcoin and 15 for Ethereum, literally. And the fees are tiny. It's 1/100 of a penny per transaction. So the performance and the security are notable. Equally important is the governing council. Hedera is an LLC with today 15 members. It's going to grow to 39 members. These are the biggest companies in the world. So Google, IBM, LG, Deutsche Telekom, FIS, WorldPay, Tata Communications, Boeing, and the list goes on. They are Hedera. We are Hedera. And it's an enterprise grade public LT that's run and has oversight governance by enterprises on a global basis. The enterprises were designed to be cross-industry and geo-distributed to reflect the entire market of use cases. And that's who we are. And I'm sure we'll dig into that more later.
Awesome. Thank you, Mance. Brian, you're up.
Great. So I'm Brian Jacob. I'm the CTO of Data.World. My background going back 25 years was grad school in machine learning and artificial intelligence. Not too dissimilar for what Matt said. I also was in academia for a while and taught computer science. Ended up spending most of my career doing more mainstream data, metadata management, for a number of different organizations, and started Data.World a little over 5 years ago with the idea to bring semantic web, embedded semantics, knowledge graphs into the world of more mainstream data and metadata management. And we can dig into more what that means as we get into it. But thanks.
Awesome. And I think we're still working on some audio issues with Noah. Unless you know sign language, in which case we can just,
Is there a telephone? Is there a telephone dial-in?
I
don't know if there's a telephone dial-in or not.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the case for Hopin, this specific platform. But let's see. I'll make sure our team can kind of help them with the technical issues. Let's see. Give me a brief second.
Yeah. Is it Alex online is recommending that he call you, and you and you put it online, something like that.
Yeah, let me send you my my number, Noah. Let's see where. All right, I am sending him my number. Let me know if you got it, Noah. Should be in direct messages. And while he calls on, I think it'd be a good idea to maybe just start with, kind of an initial question that I hope helps contextualize, the world we're living in. So, a significant portion of the world's workforce has shifted to predominantly remote work for the majority of this year. And it seems like it's almost, there's no greater time to really recognize both the importance and maybe the limitations of the entire tech infrastructure stack that underpins our professional life, right? So maybe it's a good place to start by talking about what trends or accelerations and adoption within the enterprise space that maybe most excite or surprise you, or have surprised you in the last 9 months.
I can.
Well,
yeah. Go ahead.
Brian,
go ahead, Matt.
Yeah. So, what's surprising? I guess there was nothing in particular that was surprising. I do have some observations, and they're not terribly surprising as observations. When something, the enterprises typically become more conservative in their spending habits, right? I mean, they have budgets, and when you have disruption, they try to cut back where they can. Where that happens is innovation. And so when we saw, what we saw in terms of pipeline in March, fantastic enterprise applications, specifically enterprise applications being built, all of that slowed down. And it's continued to this day. It's gotten better in recent, maybe the recent couple months, but the projects themselves, many were just put on hold, and that persists. In terms of infrastructure, what we've seen is a taxing of these video conference platforms, right? And I remember when school started,